Hi everyone, my name is Trevor Gordon. I'm saying that to a lot of the new followers that are going to be watching this interview today, because today we have a very special guest that I'm going to talk about in a few seconds. But I wanted to first of all just say hello to those that do follow me. Thank you for following me and I appreciate your support. What's happening here is obviously for those that follow me, you're friends with me and I appreciate the support. But for those that do follow me, you might be seeing that I'm doing little Instagram lives. I've been doing it through Canadian Epilepsy Alliance, Epilepsy South Central Ontario, Epilepsy Ontario, the Epilepsy Shop. I've been interviewing celebrities and public figures. And I've been always sort of keeping in the back of my mind, I really want to create my own podcast. So what you've been seeing is sort of me, I'm taking all this serious, but practicing a little bit on interviewing people that I know or public figures or celebrities that I respect or appreciate, with the hope that eventually I'm going to create a podcast. And I've been kicking around the idea of coming out with a podcast called Genuine Enthusiasm, because the reason why I want to call it that is because what I might lack in professional hosting abilities, I make up for it in genuine enthusiasm. And the hope is that when I interview guests, I'm going to reach out to people that have an enthusiasm, have an excitement, like a passion for something that they create or they love. So today we're going to have a chat with a friend of mine. Her name is Natalie Nay, and I want to brag about her for a little bit. Natalie's going to be joining us in a little bit, but while we wait for Natalie to join us, I want to talk about her. So Natalie Nay is a singer, a songwriter, a speaker, she does speaking engagements. She models and she acts. I was kind of going through her bio and everything when I was researching Natalie. And one thing that stuck out about Natalie to me when she wrote this was, Natalie said, "I'm a catalyst that shows people how to get through the other side of darkness with light." I really like that. She's making brand new music right now in the studio, so we'll talk to Natalie about that. She also wrote in her bio that the music that she creates is music that is inspired by her real life experiences. Something else that she shared was, Natalie said, I've been able to transmute negative experiences into art. I just really like that. I've been able to transmute negative experiences into art. So she's currently in the studio crafting brand new music born from real life experiences. Her artistry is a testament to the power of transmutation. Her songs are a balm to the weary, a reminder that we're not alone and that every storm will pass. Natalie will be joining us. The event's called the Battle of the Designer. Battle of Designer is an event on May 25th in Mississauga. Natalie, please join us when you have a moment. Natalie, are you there? While we're waiting for Natalie to join us.
Ooh,
Oh, there she is.
I gotta move this up a little.
Well, Natalie, you set up your screen because I just wanted to share one more thing while you're framing your shot.
Yeah.
So for the past couple of weeks, as I've been preparing for this interview with Natalie, I've been overkilling every day of my colleagues a song called Phoenix by Natalie Nay. So I just want to let this breathe for a bit. Natalie Nay, thank you for joining us. I've been listening to this song, and you're going to say, well, maybe it's because you're biased and because I'm your friend, but I've been playing this song hundreds and thousands of times a day in our office. My coworkers come into the office not necessarily knowing you by name as of yet, but they love the song, they gravitate it, and they want to know who's the artist and how do we get the song. And I say, Natalie Nay, Spotify, Apple Music, you got to get this song. So before we even start, I'm just letting you know that song is well loved in our office.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And thank you for the amazing, incredible welcome. I feel grateful and happy to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate you doing this because I know you're busy as a bee, if that's a phrase, rehearsing, making music. You have a show coming up that we're going to talk about on May 25th in Mississauga. It's called Battle of the Designer. But before we get to that, I'm curious, who is your friend here on your lap?
Oh, my little guy. This is my #1 sidekick. His name is Ziggy. He is my 10-year-old Chihuahua puck. And he is featured in most of my videos if you follow me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say, like, I mean, I was doing a little bit of research for this, and I mean, you and I have known each other, I mean, a long time, a strong minute, but I also had the opportunity to do a photo shoot of you in 2012. We went all over downtown Toronto. The photo shoot, if I could humbly brag, was such a beautiful experience. I mean, the photos, in my opinion, were stunning, sexy, sophisticated. What did you think about that day, about that day of shooting?
Well, first of all, it was so great to connect and create. Anybody who has gotten a chance to see my modeling work as well, I really put my expression into any type of artwork that it is that I'm doing. So you got to hear a little bit of my music, and when I'm modeling, the expression is without sound, right? So I had so much fun embodying that creative experience. It was really cool.
I mean, you might recognize this one photo here. There's a bit of a reflection, but
That's a throwback.
so when you look
Woo!
at this photo, Natalie, what are you thinking? What's she thinking in that photo, Natalie?
She is thinking that, oh, everything that is ahead and that is to come is something that she is ready to embark on the journey of.
Well, I had to throw that throwback because I mean, 2012, like you were again. We did a shoot like multiple locations in Toronto. You were a good sport, and I mean, I've been flattered, pleasured to know that I've had that opportunity to have you in my life. You're such a positive, beautiful soul, so I appreciate you. So the one thing I have to say is, or what my first important question is, how do you like to prepare for anything important, whether it be modeling, acting, singing, taking out your friend Ziggy out for a walk? Like, how do you prepare?
This is a really great question, actually. I prepare by, first of all, not to be cheesy or anything like that, but I do have my morning routine. So I like to wake up, I meditate, I just make sure that I get myself in the right mindset for the day of whatever it is that I have ahead of me. And I like to always, 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 this is a game changer for anybody who's looking for some tips in their life because it really helps me. I set my intention for the day. So whatever goals that it might be that you have in mind for your life, I will intentionally set out for that goal. And to along with that, my practice is writing. So I will physically write out whatever it is that I have as my main goal, and then, you know, everything else around that. So I try to approach my days with intention, a level of structure, but plenty of room for spontaneous life to happen in between.
That was a beautiful answer. For people who are joining in, coming in and coming out as we're having this conversation, for those that are joining us, this is a formal but informal discussion. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat, and if there's time, Natalie's a busy person, we only have her for limited time, but if there's time, please throw questions in there, and I might be able to share your question with Natalie. Again, we're chatting with Natalie because she has a concert on May 25th in Mississauga called Battle of the Designer. 4 p.m. I know you can reach out to Natalie to get ticket information. But in the meantime, I have to ask you as well, like, what are artists or who are artists that inspire you, Natalie?
Oh, okay. So this question usually surprises people whenever I answer it in terms of my inspirations. But I go all the way back to Peggy Lee. Like, she is a classic. And there's just something so like effortlessly expressive about her voice in particular, that I just think embodies the empowered feminine energy. So that is something I also embrace within myself. So I feel like there's a little bit of that thrown in there, so maybe a little bit of sass. I'm also very inspired by, since I was a little girl, I would actually always be jamming out to Beyonce and like Destiny's Child and at the age that I was. And yeah, so I had a little bit of that soul R&B vibe, and I'm really inspired by all genres of music.
Which leads me to my follow-up question. I mean, you know that I love concerts so much, and I think that's even part of why we're friends, of how much you know I'm passionate about concerts and how I'm excited about your upcoming performance. I'm curious if there was a concert you went to that touched you in a way that said, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be on that stage, and I'm going to do it 5,000 times better. Like, was there something like a moment when you were at a concert that just said, yeah, I'm made for this? Yes, you're back.
Okay.
That,
Um,
the excitement from that question just through the
it just
audio,
it
the
just
fireworks.
riveted me.
Yes.
um, so I would say that the concert that I experienced and was really able to absorb and to really feel within myself that this is definitely something I feel myself doing. It wasn't even just I think it's just like, oh yeah, this is the right space. This is the right arena, so to speak. And that actually was Alicia Keys. Now, I don't desire to be better than her. I am super inspired by her. She goes in that inspiration majorly. Um, for me, I just she she is somebody that I would look to and appreciate as an artist so much so that I could see myself doing the same thing. I think that's really the ultimate compliment even to somebody else. Yeah.
That's awesome. Again, people are coming in, and we're getting a great amount of people really excited about you right now. Again, we're here to talk about that you have an upcoming concert performance on May 25th in Mississauga, 4 p.m., Battle of the Designer. You can reach out to Natalie to get those tickets. I would encourage you, those that are watching, to do that sooner than later because there are only limited tickets.
Yeah, send me a
With
message.
that, yeah, that's really kind of you, Natalie, to be doing that because I know there's a million and five things you are doing to do this. But that actually leads me to my next question. You have such a huge social media presence, Natalie, and I bet at times you get overwhelmed by all the messages that you get daily. What would you like to say to those that people that might be or are supporting you, following you, who might have reached out to you that you haven't maybe had the chance to reply to? I mean, I couldn't even imagine, or I could imagine it's probably practically impossible to reply to every message that you get. So, I mean, what would you like to say at this opportunity to those that are following you?
Oh my goodness. I've never been asked this in this kind of way, and I just love it. Actually, it gives me a great opportunity to say that if you are in my messages and I have not gotten back to you, I send you so much love for taking the time and energy out of your day to think of me enough to send me a message to begin with. So if you are in the unread abyss of messages, just know that I have that love for you and appreciation for you. And I would certainly like the opportunity to meet you in person. Come to my show. And I can say hi properly, maybe that way.
I agree. I think that would be a really good environment for a bit of a meet and greet, so that then they can share the love of your creative ability, and and they can have a beverage or a glass of water, lemon water, or something with you. But to get to hear your vision, your passion in person, I think that's a lot better than just a DM saying hi, how are you? You know.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of beverages. For those of you that do drink, you can have a little something, something that will be available as well. Um, but yeah, no, really and truly, I would almost like to say that I wish that I could have another me sometimes, just so that that me could spend my time just going through all my messages and getting back to everybody, because I really wish I I really wish I could, but it is a lot. So
No, I'm glad. This is why I mean, look, this is like the Barbara Walters interview. We gotta like get down to it. You thought I was gonna throw you softball questions, Natalie?
yeah.
Like, Natalie, you have a million billion followers. You're a beautiful, amazing person that people support you. You're gonna get the odd DM, I bet. So I know that must be overwhelming. I get 5 messages and I get a little bit like, whoa, I can't even imagine the amount of messages that you get. So, I mean, I know it's not personal when you're not able to reply to every message, but I think it's good to this. I know you're talking to some people that might have not been able to hear your voice yet. So I wanted to give you that opportunity to say, like, look, it's not personal. You're just getting a million messages and you have a concert to prepare for.
Yeah. She
Um,
needs an assistant. That's it. Fernello gets it.
As we talked about earlier, and as I said, I played that one song that I told you was a favorite of mine. I've been playing it for a repeat for a few weeks. The song Phoenix. Talk to me about Phoenix.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, Phoenix, I actually it's derived from my real life experience of literally experiencing being that phoenix who is rising from the ashes. And the ashes is that rock bottom. The ashes is that low point that you can feel in life when you have been hit with just curveball after curveball, despite your best and most honest efforts to have it be otherwise. And I feel like there's this there's this deep journey that we go through when we each are going through our own darkness that is just a very transformative experience. And I was actually in the studio writing and recording this song while I was in the midst of my own life completely falling apart. And I just put my everything into the music and into the making of it. And it's it's a song that I hope inspires those that are going through difficult things to find that phoenix from within and let them know that they are so much stronger than the curveballs that get thrown at them in their lives.
Wow. Yeah. I knew you were going to have a good answer for that question because, again, I've been listening to all your music, but Phoenix has been the one song in our office that's getting played a lot. And I mean a lot. There should be a way where I can actually track the amount of times I hit play to that song, and I'll get you back to that, get
Oh,
back to you with that nerdy stat. but I have been playing it nonstop. So, I mean, I know, again, as you've been talking, I mean, you're getting a lot of questions and support. Someone named James wanted to give you a shout out and say, hey, Natalie, been a long time, been a while. How's everything for you? James Theo wrote that. So, I wanted to make sure you got that.
Everything's good. Everything's great. He's a wonderful supporter of my musical journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So take this moment right now. How can people listen to your music? I have said Apple and Spotify, but you're the artist. Give us your elevator spiel. How can people, individuals around the world, listen to your music?
Yeah, you can find me under the name Natalie Nay. So it's spelled Natalie, then space Ney, just like my username. And if you put my name into wherever you listen to music, so that could be YouTube, it could be Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, wherever. And from there, you can subscribe, follow me. I will be coming up with more.
How does it feel? How does it feel? I wrote this down. I'm full disclosure, everyone. I'm not a professional. I'm not perfect. I got nerdy notes here, all right? So that's why when I'm looking down, it's not because I don't want to look at this beautiful, lovely person in front of me. I want to make sure if I have the time with this busy person, I want to make sure I have my stuff correct. But this is a very important question I want to ask you. How does it feel to be able to bring the music to fruition and have the experience of performing it live?
That is a good one. It feels like a combination between absolutely.
You're on mute there, Natalie. Not as of yet. So while Natalie's handling the tech issue, again, for those that are just joining us, we're here talking to Natalie Nay because it's exciting because Natalie has a concert on May 25th in Mississauga at 4 p.m. The event's called Battle of Desire. Battle of Desire. You can get tickets by actually contacting Natalie directly on her Instagram account. But May 25th, Mississauga, 4 p.m., the event's called Battle of the Desire. As we see, Natalie has had a minor technical issue, so she's just going to log out and log back in. Just so you know, this is a very informal discussion. If you have questions, you're more than welcome to put them in the chat. It's very, very informal. I'm just going to make sure we're checking on Natalie to make sure she's good. She's on her way back. So again, we're here talking to Natalie. I met Natalie in 2012, actually maybe a little bit earlier to 2012, but she did a photo shoot with me in 2012, and we've been friends ever since. And then recently we connected because she has this big concert coming up. So that's why we're talking to Natalie. And Natalie came back at the perfect time. Hey, Natalie, we missed you.
Hi. Thank you for that. I had interference coming through. I didn't know that could happen.
It can happen because the powerful force of Natalie Nay and these powerful questions that I'm asking you, it's just a lot happening right now.
Well, the good thing for us, I remember where we left off.
But
if you
I
want,
want, because it was such a good answer, I want you to pretend that you didn't say anything, and we're going to take two on that because I feel this question is a segment in itself, all right? So Natalie, how does it feel to be able to bring the music to fruition and have the experience of performing it live?
Okay, so it feels like a mix between exhilaration, like the exhilarating feeling of being able to connect, because that's really the whole bottom line of the music that I've been creating, is that it's got this healing element to it, but also fun. Like it feels good. Um, and it also simultaneously feels like the most natural thing. Like it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm so present when I'm performing and I'm creating and I'm sharing music that it's just like, yeah, it's like getting in the zone, so to speak, you know? Yeah.
It's beautiful. Tell me about what's coming up for you. Not, I mean, we know what's coming up in the sense of the concert, and we're gonna talk about that. But I mean, studio, is there new music coming? Like, what is happening in the next, let's say, 2 years? What give us a little bit of the behind the scenes of what you're working on, Natalie?
Okay, so I have so much on the way that I am actually so excited for. It is, mm, how should I share this? Okay, so at the performance coming up on May 25th, that you can just send me a message if you want to get a ticket from me. I'll meet up with you, get that to you. Um, what I will be doing is I will actually be performing a few brand new songs that have never been heard before, and I will be performing them for the first time live. So if you are able to come to the performance, you will get an exclusive preview of my new music that I've been working on. And of course, that will trickle out, but you may have to wait many months before that time comes, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into getting the music out. So, I'm just saying.
A random question that just popped in my head right now, but I think is important. I mean, of course, the number one goal right now, we want to sell some tickets. I know there's only a few tickets left, but we want to get that sold out. What are other ways that the public can support Natalie Nay? Maybe, you know what, maybe they're babysitting, unfortunately, that night. Maybe they're in another part of the world that particular evening. I'm putting you a little bit maybe on the spot, but how can the public support Natalie Nay if they can't make it to that particular night?
Yeah, so if that particular night seems to be tied up, then all you got to do to help me out would be to actually think of maybe a friend of yours that might enjoy my vibe of music, some beautiful ladies, a fun night out, and a really good vibe. Somebody that you can think of that might enjoy the show. Maybe you could share the information and let them know. That's one way. Another way is you can subscribe to me on my YouTube channel. That really helps me. And you can certainly follow me on Instagram at Natalie Nay. Also, you can feel free to find me even on TikTok, which is at Level Up with Natalie. And yeah, come along for the ride.
Is there anything else that you can leave us with that before we wrap up? I mean, you've been giving us, again, I can't thank you enough for giving us this time to chat, because I know as your friend and as a supporter of you, you're a busy person. So getting 10, 15 minutes with you is always very appreciated. So, is there any thing you'd like to share before we lose you into your creative space, to your back to the lab where you're working on your music and rehearsing?
Yeah, what I would like to leave people with, I would like to leave you with love. Think of me as like that Care Bear. This is the 90s in me coming out. So like I'm like a Care Bear and I'm just shining my heart and my love at you because we need a lot more of that in this world. There is so much difficulties and darkness that everybody's going through and that everybody deals with. So just never let go of the love in your heart and always, always, always remember who you are at your core. Feel free to, go to my music if you find that it may help. And please, if you hear something in my song that you think of somebody that you feel it could help, please share it. I will actually also add, I'll often share my music with people before anybody else ever hears it. And the first people that end up hearing it are actually the people that I feel called on in my heart that need to hear that song at that time. So oftentimes it may be somebody who looks like they're having a much harder day than me. It could be a homeless man. I'll stop, I'll talk to him, have that kind of conversation. I don't get him on video, but, we have our real life moment. And I've seen how it has shifted people's energies and how it's brought in a certain light in their eyes. So I would love to bring that to the world more.
Natalie Nay, May 25th, Battle of the Designer, 4 p.m., Mississauga. I have my ticket. I'm excited. I know I'm going to be buying tickets for my coworkers because, again, Phoenix is a staple in our office. We've been playing that song nonstop. I'm issuing everyone that's watching this live or watching the re-recording on both Natalie's Instagram and my Instagram, I'm issuing you each a challenge. I want you tomorrow morning to add Natalie on Apple Music, add her on Spotify, add her on YouTube. I want you to play Phoenix tomorrow morning, all at once tomorrow morning, because I want your coworkers, your boss, your friends, your partner to come in and hear that song. And I guarantee you, it's going to create a conversation in that office. They're all going to ask, who is that? And they're going to want to discover Natalie Nay, just like how you're discovering Natalie Nay. I am challenging you, everyone, tomorrow morning, listen to Natalie Nay, Phoenix, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. That is my favorite song. There's many favorites, but I'm sorry, Natalie's going to kill me because I do have that favorite child, and Phoenix is my jam right now. But I also know something is going to come, and I'm going to have to put that one child aside for a moment to listen to the other. But Phoenix is my jam right now, so please listen to Phoenix.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie, for your time, and thank you for joining us, everyone that's watching the live and that will watch the re-recording. Thank you, Natalie. You're awesome. I appreciate you as a human being, a friend, as an artist. You're amazing.
And I appreciate you, Trevor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Good night.
Bye.